Okay, this is the P3 paper from June 2021. It's question number 5, and this is an exponentials and logs question, and in particular, it's the logs and nonlinear data questions that we get when we have one of these diagrams. So what does it tell me? These are all relatively standard, these first parts. So it tells me that A is equal to PQ to the T. It tells me that this is log base 10a against t, and then when I do that, I get an intercept of 0.32, and I'll be able to work out what the gradient is going to be by doing a quick bit of calculating. That's all I'm going to need to be able to do part A. So let's have a look at part A. So for part A, we're starting off with A equals PQ to the T. And then we're going to use logs to turn this into a linear relationship. And as I say, they've told me in the question to do log to the base 10. So if I do log to the base 10 of both sides, then I'm going to get that. Once I've done that, I can use the fact that log AB is log A plus log B, one of our log rules. So if I do that, I'm going to get left-hand side doesn't change, but the right-hand side now becomes log 10p plus log 10q to the t. And then we'll use another one of our log rules to be able to bring that power down. So I'm going to get log 10a equals log 10p plus t log 10q. Now, because I'm going to be drawing the graph of log 10a against t, I can say, let's just rearrange this slightly and say log 10a equals log 10q t plus log p, just so that we've got it in the form y equals mx plus c here, so we can see this one is going to be my gradient and this one is going to be my intercept. So if I go back to the graph, the intercept's already done, that's 0.32, but the gradient I'm going to have to find by constructing that triangle there and saying this length here is 0.56 minus 0.32, and this length here is 8 there. So for the next bit, if I'm doing the intercept, log 10p is going to be equal to 0.32, and the gradient log 10q is going to be whatever 0.56 minus 0.32 divided by 8, whatever that works out to be. So I get from this one here, I'm going to get let's just show you again how to do that. If I've got log A, B equals C, I can change that into a power statement, and the power statement's simply going to be A to the power of C equals B. So if I do that, I will get P equals 10 to the 0.32, and that gives me that P works out to be equal to 2.089, and we want it to 3 decimal places, and log 10q here works out to be 0.24, divided by 8, which gives me 0.03. So this time, following exactly the same idea, q is going to be 10 to the power of 0.03, and that works out to be 1.072. Both answers here, go back to the question, both answers it says find them to 3 decimal places. Very, very standard, that first part. If you look at some of my other videos on the channel, you'll see very similar questions to that one. Part B then says, find the rate of increase of the surface area. So the rate of increase is going to be dA by dt. So basically they're asking me to differentiate. And it says exactly 6 days after the study. So that's going to be when t equals 6. But let's first of all say that if we've got A equals PQ to the T, remember P and Q are just constant. So in effect what we're doing is we're being able to differentiate that. And that's something that hopefully you remember. It's in the syllabus, but it's not used that often. So if we want this, dy by dx is log A to the x. That's how we end up with the differential of e to the x is e to the x when we're doing it. But yeah, you need to make sure that you've got that in your armory, that you remember that. So here, this one is going to be dA by dt is going to be equal to, p is just a constant, we're going to have log q times q to the t. Okay, so that's the differential of it. And then remember, we've got all these things. So P is 2.089. Log Q is going to be log 1.072. And then 1.072 to the power of 6. Actually, I guess here, I'll just put it, I'll just use my magic to move this bit down a little bit. And just say it's at t equals 6. It's given in the question. And then whatever that works out to be, if you calculate all that, it comes to 0.22. And it says the answer needs to be to 2 decimal places. So yeah, really important that we remember that. The rest of this is a relatively standard one of these questions. Okay, hopefully all that makes sense.